Hey, it's Pati Root. Today's topic is ownership and the secret sauce for your success. Now, I just finished reviewing last quarter's results and recognized a trend that was happening in just about 30% of the same salespeople over and over and over again. They were making their budgeted number. That meant they never missed quota, ever. Well, that just poked my curiosity a little bit, so I pulled last year's numbers and looked at it, and don't you know, the same names appeared on that leaderboard as well. Wow, okay. I tracked a couple of them down and said, okay, share it, gotta know, how come you're so successful when your peers are going through peaks and valleys with their production? And this is what they told me. One word: ownership. What? Ownership? What? I had to noodle on that just a little bit, and this is what I came up with. Ownership. Think of that first car that you had. You got it in your mind? I remember mine. Mine was a 1963 Chevrolet Impala. It was a standard transmission, a 3-speed, shift on the column, turquoise on the inside, white on the outside, 2 snow tires back in the trunk. Loved that car. I checked my own oil. I changed my own tires. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a girly girl and I don't do dirt. But for that car, I did whatever it took to keep it going. And she got me everywhere my young heart desired to go. Now, I did not personally purchase that beautiful boat with 4 wheels and 2 in the trunk. No, my parents actually made most of the car payments, but we had an agreement. I took care of it, and as long as I took care of it, I could drive it. And if I didn't, the keys went right back into my parents' pocket. Some of you might be able to identify with that. If you've had a customer that wasn't taken care of and the customer might have left or was taken away from you. Okay, so let's think of those power performers and how they are using ownership to drive their success. Well, power performers actually use emotional ownership. Emotional ownership. That means they look at the customer and emotionally they own the account. They own the relationship. They can look at the customer through customer eyes. They flip up the hood of the customer car, so to speak, and they check the wires, they check the cables, they check the fluids, and if anything needs adjusting, they do. They listen for knocks, they listen for strange noise, and if they hear something that's causing the customer not to perform just right, they'll offer a solution that will tweak that customer performance. So it sounds pretty easy peasy, right? What? Not everything's quite that easy. Okay? You're saying that a lot of times you do just fine with your customer, but those resources that are supporting you, not so much. Okay, let me think about that. Okay, I think I've got it. 1963 Chev. The clutch went out. Okay, I burned the clutch up. Surprise. And had to have the car towed to the garage. As the mechanic fixed it, I would call occasionally just to see how... Okay, I called 3 or 4 times a day to see how the mechanic was doing on repairing my car. And when things were going a little slow, yes, I did take in a big old bag of donuts and I did bribe the mechanic because it was so important that my car get fixed, and fixed as if I'd done it myself if I had the skill and the knowledge to do it. So when things happen that are out of your wheelhouse, as an owner, you pull together your resources, your experts, and it's up to you as the owner to manage timelines, to manage expectations, to manage those conference calls. And when your experts start to let you down, in other words, you don't know what they're doing and the timeline isn't being met, as an account owner or owner of the process, you manage those expectations. You follow up with them. Yeah, you do, just like me calling that mechanic. And when timelines are missed, you pick up your rag, you wipe off your greasy hands, and you call the customer and say, look, this is where we are, this is what we've done, and we need to reset that deadline. So ownership, through ownership, you know your account's trends, you know what needs to happen with your account, and as an emotional owner, you own your destiny. Yes, indeed, you do. You own your destiny. So even though your resources, those different departments, different individuals do not report directly into you, just like that garage and that mechanic did not report into me, as an account owner, it's your responsibility to manage the process so that your customer is always kept informed, their needs and their expectations are always being met. Now, taking ownership for your own actions can be very scary. I mean, if something goes wrong, who are you going to blame, right? Right, okay. So, and if you think you're ready to start taking a little bit more ownership, visit our website, www.rootdynamics.com. And we'll help you learn a little bit more on how a coach can help you develop that ownership skill. Now, over the next few weeks, we are going to continue this series on ownership, the secret sauce for success, and we will be aligning it with spirituality, with career, with family, with friends, and with health. Okay? So thank you for listening today, and I'll be chatting with you next week.